Hi, I'm Matt Covey. I'm the founder of Suburban K9, and I wanted to thank you first for just taking the time to watch this video. This is really going to help you get the most out of your training. So what we're going to do is talk about, how do you as a client get the most out of training? How are you just the ideal client that's going to really work with your dog and get success? And on the flip side of that, what are we going to do as a company to help you? Because that's a big part of it. We're a team here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through a series of qualities that we find really important. I'm going to explain what we expect out of you. And then, of course, equally important, I'm going to explain what we expect out of ourselves. So let's dive in. Number one is being committed to doing homework. Your dog needs trained on a daily basis. If you don't work with your dog and you don't practice, you're not going to be happy. You're not going to get the full value out of it, and you're probably going to be stressed or unhappy, and so is your dog. Now, what are we going to provide for you? We want you to do your homework, and we're going to do everything we can to help you there. We're going to provide you as much homework as you need. At the end of lessons, we'll sit down, we'll write homework for you. And if you have questions between lessons, reach out, shoot us an email. And if you say, hey, I'm stumped on this part of off-leash come, where do I go from here? Your trainer will get back to you pretty quickly and make sure you have enough to work on until your next lesson. Next, be willing and open-minded. Dog training, it can be a little bit confusing, and it changes based upon your dog and based upon your progress and how you're doing. So we really need you to be willing and open-minded. Want you to listen to your trainer, but of course ask questions and understand where they're coming from. And if you don't get something, ask as much as you need. But we really want you to trust in your trainer as an expert. But on a flip side, our trainers love hearing questions, and we are very flexible. So if you say, hey, I know you said I should do this, but I don't really want to, or I don't think I can do that, your trainer's going to hear you out and figure out what can we modify to make our training package work for you. Our next category is adhering to best practices between lessons. Now, I know this sounds a lot like homework, but it's slightly different. It's the kind of the soft things that might not be on your homework list. So walk your dog each day, make sure your dog is getting a proper diet, make sure they've got chew toys so they're fulfilled, so that they're happy, and also just stay in contact with your trainer. If you have questions, reach out, or if they email you to ask you how things are going. Of course, we love when clients get back to us. That's how we're able to keep everything moving forward. And from our end, we know that we're thinking about you in between lessons, or after your go home and between a follow-up. We're worried about how is everything going. And so we love to reach out. And of course, we love when you reach out and tell us how things are going. Next is be honest. And this is a big one. If you have questions about something, if you think the trainer is making the wrong judgment call, or you're not happy with how things are going or what they're doing, say it. That's so important. We want to have that honest relationship. And we do the same for you. And I always explain to my clients, my job is not to be your best friend. My job is to get your dog trained and tell you what you need to hear. And we almost always have a very, very good relationship. And I've become personal friends with a lot of clients over the years. But I don't like to sugarcoat things. I always want to tell you what you need to hear. And that's important. And so recognize if our trainer tells you something, if they say, hey, I really think you need to make a change here. Here's why. They're doing that in your best interest. They're just being honest. And they're also doing it in your dog's best interest. Another similar point to being honest is being receptive to feedback. We are going to be telling you things to fix constantly. That's part of the job. That's what you're paying us for. And our trainers are really good at doing this in a non-confrontational way. And of course, being very positive, as they're telling you what to change. But that's what you're paying us to do, right? If we were to come in and say, hey, you've got it, everything you're doing is working perfectly, then we're just being cheerleaders, and that's not what you're paying us to do. So we're going to come in, we're going to look for what you're doing right, we're going to tell you that, and we're going to look for things that you could be doing better, and we're going to tell you that as well. And then we want that feedback as well. So if you were to say, hey, you're not communicating in a way that's useful for me as it could be. I need more things in writing, or I need you to talk slower and explain this more in depth, or can we circle back to something you said 3 weeks ago? Sure, absolutely, right? The goal is that we're having this good two-way communication where we're honest, but we're also both receptive to each other's feedback. The next thing I'd like to talk about is just being willing to invest in your dog. Part of this is financial. You need to invest financially to get the training you need, but it's not just financial. It's time, it's energy, physical energy, and mental energy. If you want to get the best results you can get, you really need to invest all of those things, in your dog and in the training process. The goal is we get them trained quickly and you can move on with your life with a well-trained dog. And trust me, we invest so much in you. We invest a lot of time in you. We're thinking about you when we're not there. We're checking in with you. We're wondering how things are going. And when we show up to your lesson, we're not just showing up like, wonder what's going to happen today. We've been thinking about you. We've been thinking about it on the drive over. We were thinking about it yesterday, and we're coming up with a plan based upon, what we did during the last lesson to make sure we can move you forward as quickly as possible. And the last category I want to talk about is just being trusting. We want you to trust in us, and I don't mean blind trust, right? When you have questions, we want you to ask them. I don't want anyone just to blind trust. But no, if you've hired us, you hired us for a reason, right? Most likely you were probably a referral. That's where most of our clients come from. And talk to your friends and neighbors, right? And that's why you hired us in the first place, is they've told you that we can help you. So please just trust, and anytime you have questions, I want you to ask, of course, but know that you've hired the best. And from our end, we're trusting you, of course, with our reputation. Our reputation is in your hands every single time we train your dog. And we work so hard to earn that trust on a daily basis, your personal trust, but also the trust of your friends, families, and your neighbors. So once again, I've said this a few times, but this is a two-way street, and we really are a team here. So thank you for watching this video. I hope this all makes sense to you. We are very excited to have you as a client and can't wait to help you and your dog live the best life possible.